Is powered by betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for finding the online casino or sports book that's right for you. Check out betting.net. I'm Mike Goodpaster. I'm the host for NFL Beating the Spread Week 5, where we will give you the 6 best bets of the upcoming Week 5 NFL football season. So let's go ahead and let's get started with the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is a game where the Chiefs, I think, have failed to live up to expectations with their record so far at 2-2. It's a game they need to win. And this is kind of a statement game for the Bills. They started off the season with that rough loss to Pittsburgh, but since then have been dominating. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. Hysteria will fill the game's broadcast as always. But in this rematch of last year's AFC Championship game, pay attention to the Buffalo Bills defense. The unit is number 1 in yards allowed per game, 216.8, takeaways at 11, and has shut out the last 2 opponents. In prime time, the Bills can display that effectiveness, especially if they limit Kansas City receiver Tyreek Hill. The Chargers and the Ravens each limited Hill to less than 100 yards, a major factor in both of Kansas City's losses. After losing to Kansas City twice last season, Buffalo may now have a blueprint for securing an upset. The Chiefs are favored by 2.5 points. I'm going to take the Bills in the small upset. I'm going to bet the Bills straight up. I'm also going to bet them with the points. I think both bets are great. I think the Bills win that game. Next up, the Cleveland Browns will travel to Los Angeles to battle the LA Chargers. And to me, this is one of the most intriguing matchups of the weekend. You expect to see a lot of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in this one. The Browns led the league in rushing yards per game at 177, while the Chargers, 3-1, allow the 4th most rushing yards per game. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Cleveland's coupling of a strong ground attack and a defense tied for second in sacks with 14, largely thanks to the pairing of Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, may make it the most physical team in the NFL. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has shown he can keep pace with any team, but this defensive front will be a challenge, especially if the Browns running backs chew clock and force him into predictable passing situations. Now, we have seen Herbert in the past make 1 or 2 mistakes in a game that cost his team the game, and I think that happens again. The Chargers are favored by 1.5. Just like the Buffalo game, I'm going to take the Browns here. I'm going to take Buffalo as a small dog and the Browns as a small dog, parlay them together, but I'm going to take the Browns and 1.5 in this game. Next up, we've got the 49ers going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. The Cardinals may have the most diverse offensive attack and most explosive NFL attack in football. The 49ers drafted Trey Lance with the number 3 overall pick this year because of Jimmy Garoppolo's injury history. Lance may start this week against the Cardinals, though Coach Kyle Shanahan said Garoppolo's calf and left tackle Trent Williams' shoulders both have a chance to play. Still, the 49ers' task in this one will be to match the extraordinary offensive output of Arizona, which leads the NFL with 35 points per game, and last week carved up a very good Rams defense. To keep it up, Shanahan will lean on either a rookie or a less than 100% Jimmy Garoppolo to go throw for throw with the best offense in the league. With how hot Arizona is right now, that's a risky bet. What is a safe bet here, I think, is to take the 49ers or to take the Cardinals and give the 49ers the 5.5 points. I think that the Cardinals right now, the Cardinals and the Bills, I think look like the best 2 teams in football. I think that will continue this weekend. All right, remember, betting.net makes it easy to find all of the legal online casinos or sports books in your state. Head over now and see for yourself. Betting.net finds the best promotions, discounts, and bonus codes so that you don't have to. Head over to their website now to take advantage of things like free bets and matching deposits. Our next game of the week, the New York Football Giants travel to Dallas to battle the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys could further distance themselves from the rest of the NFC East with a win over the 1-3 Giants. The historically bad defense from 2020 for the Cowboys has been transformed under first-year Dallas coordinator Dan Quinn. With his dismal passing defense saved by cornerback Trevon Diggs, league-leading 5 interceptions, and a unit ranked 6th in rushing yards allowed per game. Saquon Barkley, though, is the best runner the Dallas defense will have seen, and he returned to form in an overtime win against the Saints in Week 4, when he accounted for 126 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Most impressively, the Giants won without 2 of their top receivers, Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, who are still questionable with hamstring injuries. 3 of these last 5 matchups between these 2 division rivals have been decided by 1 score. Momentum is a real thing, and even though Dallas is the better team, the Giants could make this game competitive. I think the Cowboys win this, but I think it's by less than the 7.5 points we see on the line. I'm going to take the Giants and the points. Next up, the Denver Broncos will travel to Pittsburgh to battle the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben is having issues. And when you look at this, Roethlisberger has thrown 11 passes of over 20 yards, which is tied for last in the league. And you really got to wonder, until Pittsburgh can generate a legitimate deep threat, expect defenses to keep them in check. Now, it's unclear whether Teddy Bridgewater will clear the concussion protocol, meaning Denver could be forced to rely on Drew Lock's inconsistent decision making for this game. Lock, though, is at least able to throw the ball downfield. With this Denver defense, pass rush, secondary, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be able to score too many points here. I'm going to say take the Broncos to go to 4-1. I'm going to take the Broncos plus 1.5. And this is a game that I would be willing to bet straight up without any hesitation also. Next up, we've got our lock of the week. We've got the Tennessee Titans coming off a horrible loss to the New York Jets, playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who always have Urban Meyer's embarrassing week, which should get worse this Sunday. If the Titans 2-2 extend Jacksonville's 0-4 losing streak, Shad Khan, the Jaguars owner, addressed a viral video of Meyer cavorting with a woman in Ohio bar this week, saying the coach must earn trust and respect. Now, the reports have suggested that Meyer has lost the locker room about a quarter of the way into his first season. With so much of the organization's time spent on that matter, it's reasonable to assume less energy went into preparing a defense that's allowing 312.3 passing yards per game, the third worst rate in the league, and that ranks last in sacks. They've only had 5 sacks so far this season, just over 1 a game. It's still unclear whether Titans receivers Julio Jones and A.J. Brown will play on Sunday, but Ryan Tannehill still threw for almost 300 yards without them in an overtime loss to the Jets. Unless Jacksonville wholly revamps its defense, his defensive ineffectiveness in the span of a week, filled with all these Urban Meyer distractions, I expect the Titans to win this game. I think they covered a 4-point spread very easily. I like the Titans here, and I'm going to give the 4 points. All right, guys, remember, check out betting.net. Betting.net is not just sports betting. Betting.net is also your gateway to the best online casinos. Sit back, relax, and have fun with online slots, poker, or other table games. All right, guys, you can follow me at Grueling Truth. Make sure you check out betting.net. Make sure you check out thegruelingtruth.com. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.